So here's 3 drills to help move the hips better in your golf swing. The first drill is going to be a toe touch to try and improve the hinge position of your hips. The second drill, we're going to do a pelvic tilt down on kneeling position. And the third drill, we're going to do a glute clam to try and strengthen up the side of the hip joint. So let's get into exercise number 1, Alex.
Okay.
So we're going to start with a simple toe touch, and we're going to use the yoga block. But we said earlier, if you've not got a yoga block, you can use a pillow at home, maybe a foam roller, even fold your head cover up. So place the block in between the thighs for me. And the key thing to this is you've got to squeeze the block. So if you imagine both thighs pushing in this way, and you're going to squeeze it really tight. So I always say to all my golfers, imagine there's £1 million in that and you don't want me to take it from you. So you've got to hold it tight. And what we're going to do is touch the toes on a straight leg. So we're trying to make sure that the knees don't bend here.
As far as I can go.
That's as far as you can go, that's fine. And then all you're going to do is pull right up to the ceiling nice and tall. So I want you to imagine you're bending here at the hips and not so much at the lower back or the top of the back. So you just fold yourself over nice and smooth, keep squeezing the block, and then you're going to bring yourself back up to the ceiling. At that pace as well, I think that's really key, Alex, that you do it at a slow pace, because what we don't want is people to be bending really fast from the lower back, tweaking a nerve or tweaking anything down there.
So what's this going to do for us in the golf swing?
So what we're aiming to do here is to teach yourself to start to move the pelvis a little bit more. We're getting a bit of hamstring activation, a bit of adductor contraction as well, where you're holding the block. Because what a lot of golfers struggle with in their setup position is being able to sort of sink into the hips and get their weight back here. You see people that stand quite tall and they're sort of tucked underneath, which is not very athletic. It's not great for creating power, and it's not great to then rotate from that position either. So if you're sort of quite tall, you tend to sort of get flat and around yourself, or maybe too high in the swing as well.
And I think with a lot of senior golfers or people who are less flexible or had injuries, I tend to see that a lot as well. Well, I can only really get to here maintaining posture. Well, to make a fuller swing, sort of see this motion.
Exactly, like if you're already there's kind of nowhere to go. So what we want is people to set up quite strong and athletic, where we're sat into the hips, we're using the hamstrings, using the glutes, using the core. And what this drill does basically is teach you to start to fold over the hips like this, so we can get used to this hinge position of moving the hips backwards and forwards.
How many sets and how many reps?
I'm going to say 12 to 15 reps on this one at a controlled pace like you did. And again, sets wise, 1 to 3 depending on how advanced you are. I think if you've never done this before, take it really easy, nice and slow, and if you've done it a couple of times, add an extra set on to keep practicing.
Okay, exercise number 2, what are we going into now?
So exercise number 2, we're going to do a half kneeling pelvic tilt.
So I'll get down here.
So we're coming down to the mat. Again, you want a flat surface for this, and if you are doing this at home, one thing I'd recommend, put a cushion under the knee, because it does hurt after a few reps when you've got bone touching the floor. So what I'm going to get you to do, Alex, is just so we get the setup position correct, make sure we're in 290s as you are, so front knee at 90, back knee at 90. Yeah, you're nice and tall, so the line of your trousers cuts through your shoulder as well. And then what I'm going to get you to do is place your hands on your hip bones, so where you can feel them stick out at the front. And what we're going to do is, if we start in neutral as you are, so you've got nice straight back here, you're in a straight line, I want you to purposefully stick your butt behind you and arch your lower back, and you should feel this dip come in here, and you almost feel like your belly sticks out a bit. And then what you're going to do is, I want you to almost push your glute through your quad and tuck your hips the other way on purpose. So you're now sort of curving the hips underneath, and then what you should feel is, as you curve underneath, we get this stretch through the hip flexor. You don't even have to move anywhere, you can really feel the stretch coming in.
I mean, it probably doesn't look like a lot of movement to you watching this right now, but I'm telling you, I can feel
this is the thing. So while you're watching this video, really sort of nail in on the angle of the hips here. You can see that there's some movement of the pelvis. It's quite a subtle movement, but what a lot of golfers don't do well in the swing is actually tilt the hips forwards and backwards like this, and that's a key movement, as we know, for technique and also for power.
So complete this both sides, yeah?
Both sides, and I think what's nice about this is you can get a bit of glute activation off this as well. So if I come round this side as you've changed legs, because you're tucking underneath, you're having to use your glute to push through. So we're getting a little bit of strength off that as well. It's quite hard, isn't it? It looks like it's a bit of a nothing movement, but it's, you've got to think about what you're doing.
And again, would this complement what we said about the golf swing as well, being able to hold that position at address?
Exactly, because if you think as we set up, what we don't want to do, as we've mentioned before in sort of some of our postural drills, is we don't want to be like this arching with the core kind of falling to the floor. There's no activation here. And as we just said on the previous exercise, we don't want to be too tall this way. It's about finding that nice middle ground where you feel strong and neutral and ready to hit the ball.
So when I was doing that there, I could feel that stretch. I feel like it was from here to
yeah,
here.
Exactly. So if you think we've got hip flexors kind of deep into here, running down into the top of the thigh, as you tuck those hips underneath, what we're doing is kind of lengthening these out and stretching them.
Yeah, very, very hard that one. I don't like a lot, but really
yeah,
hard.
It's quite a tough one.
Okay, final one. I know we need the band for this one.
We need the band, yeah. So if you've not got a band, you can do it without. The band just gives you a bit of feedback and a bit of extra resistance to work with. So what I'm going to do with the band is just place it above the knees.
On both sides?
Yep, both legs. And then I'm going to get you to come and lie down on the mat in what's like a bit of a fetal position, so knees up. Yep, onto your side. Again, this is one that's kind of really key to make sure we get the setup right. So if I get you to bring your knees up level with the hips and then just bring the feet back slightly, so you're more of a 45-degree angle here. And then if you roll slightly this way, Alex, so you're more on your shoulders. And then what we're going to do from here, I'm going to get you to lift the top knee and pull the band apart.
And feeling it stay still, not like...
That's exactly it. So imagine this is a wall here.
Okay.
You're not allowed to roll back against the wall. I just want you to lift that band up from the side of the glute here.
And is my heel coming up here as well?
Feet are going to stay down together.
Stay down together.
Yeah. So you're going to open up like a clam position, that's it. At that pace as you're moving, nice and controlled. And what you should feel after a few reps is a bit of a burn in here. You feel it already? And again, this is a really good drill to start strengthening into the side of the hips, smaller, finer muscles of the glutes on the side that don't get a lot of practice and a lot of action for a lot of people.
So if you're someone that sways in the golf swing, this could be...
This is your one. If you're a swayer in the golf swing, this is definitely one to practice. And I think, Alex, for this one as well, we're going a bit sort of higher reps on this, about 15 to 20. Really get that burn, get that sensation off the band.
Certainly got that.
Yeah, you can feel it straight away with this one.
And both sides as well?
Both sides, yeah.
Fab. Fab. So there are 3 exercises for today. If you enjoyed this video and you think, I want to do this workout again, make sure you hit that save button because you might want to build it into your weekly routine of golf fitness. As always, Nat, thanks for coming on.
You're welcome.
Also, don't forget to check out Nat's podcast. We'll put that link down below.
Yep.
You finished Series 3 now?
Series 3 finished, but loads of episodes you can listen back to. Everything to help you with your golf fitness.
Fab. Check out that link below. And as always, if you did enjoy the content, hit that thumbs up button. See you tomorrow.